Sound check. Sound check. Sound check. Sound check.
Skeptical of love, been burned too many times. Still by the waterside, I'm all for you. In days of doubt, I swear I'll soon be gone.
Sound check.
And stay the night and watch you in the morning sun. 'Cause I'd rather fight with you than anyone. I don't want anyone. You and me are a different kind of love. You and me have a different kind of faith.
Sound check passed.
I would lie, beg and steal anything to keep you near.
All right.
A different kind of love.
Welcome to TDD.Academy. I'm your host, Lance Ricard, and I'm here with a little bit of mood music for the holiday.
Still we're crying to our favorite song.
Double check my sound check. It's all sound checked out. Hey, if anybody has a better way to do sound checking with all this extra overhead, that would be great to know. But we're doing some music that might make it a little better, more entertaining for those who happen to be catching the YouTube videos and you have to like look at the screen. At least you have some tunes. Well, so last episode we were working on our TD, we were test driving an Android social security number text edit. And now what we have is, well, we made some progress. I paired with that fellow. Last episode I was talking about a refactory that I thought was predicting would happen. I was calling the shot. Funny thing is, a week later, when I was pairing with another fellow I pair program with, we had that same failing test case and we got it to pass pretty simply. We didn't have to get into too many complications. So, and then we kept going. So actually, I think that refactoring would still make things simpler, but it's one of those situations where the balance is like, it was a good idea at the time, but we made pretty good progress without doing it and didn't have to write complicated unit tests. That's the main point, it's complicated unit tests. I will say we have to write somewhat complicated tests, but they're not very complicated. So it's like that, has it hit that threshold? Oh, we could probably still do better with refactor. Maybe we'll refactor it later, but you know, in that 90-minute session that I had this week, it went pretty well. So let's see what we got today. Let's share my screen. Here we are. What am I playing today? I'm playing some artist named Hannah Grace on SoundCloud. Thanks, Hannah. Sounding lovely. I'm noticing my simulator for some reason isn't behaving very well. Like when I launch it, it doesn't launch fast like it used to. But my fingers are crossed today. I don't know why it started acting up. Today I'm running on the Intel Mac, by the way. I had thought to do the show with the other Mac, with the M1 Mac, but I had a lot of things going on today, so I didn't get it set up. I have been testing on the M1 Mac, and the OBS Studio runs really well on it. And when you have a native M1 build, and I had to install something called, well, so I use a tool called. Sorry, we're going to geek out about this for a minute. I use a tool called Sunflower, and it's a driver, and it doesn't work on. It only works on Intel. So it doesn't work on the M1. So I thought, oh heck, I'm stuck again. But later I found another tool called Black Hole, which worked. So I think I have a M1 setup that's going to work great. And I could have done the show today, except I didn't quite get that set up in time. Anyways, let's turn on the Do Not Disturb. Let's see where we are at. That's weird. Shortcuts aren't working. Okay. So let's run the app. I'm going to show you. I pre-launched the app before the show because I was having this difficulty getting the simulator to work. So at least I wanted to run it once to show you. And hopefully it works smoothly. I'm kind of hopeful that it's going to work well. Hope it's not a strategy though. So I made sure to get it warmed up ahead of time because it was taking like 10 minutes to get going. That's stupid. It only takes 30 seconds or something like that normally. So this is where we're at. We're doing backspace. We're doing deleting. And oh, look at that. What is all this? I don't need this in my life. Serial console enabled. Don't need you. How did that happen? Okay, so one. Oh, interesting. And the next button? Well, right away, something's not really behaving here. Does it think it's running it right now? What is going on? Well, I hope I have a smooth show. And although I prepared something, whack-a-mole is going on here. Let's hit this stop button. All right, cool. One, okay, backspace. Okay, we had that working before the previous show. And then, or we had that working in the previous show. And then I put in my second digit, okay, backspace, that's working too. So that's the next feature we put in during the week. So see, do it again, rock solid. Now, what's not working is what I'm about to do next. 3. Oh, look, when you add, it skips the backspace. But when I hit the backup button, there's no code in there to say, don't delete the back. When I hit backspace, what should happen is it skips over the dash and then deletes the number to the left of the dash. Okay, it didn't do that. And it got all loused up. All right, so we're going to write a test to fix that. All right. Now, let's also observe a couple things. So yeah, so you know that it's about skipping the dash. And let's see what we got here. Let's run the unit test. You know that nothing's up my sleeves. All right, I have a test that failed. That's probably the test I was working on this week. After text change, user enters triple digit, deletes last digit, the cursor should be after the second digit. Let's cut that phrase down a bit. Cursor. Curse. Will be super explicit. Should skip dash and the effect should be the cursor should be after the second digit. That's probably close enough. We don't need to get too wordy. And why did it fail? Let's take a look. So you double click on the test description, it will move the pointer, though I messed with it. So maybe it won't. Rerun the tests. Boom, running those 20 tests in 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, about 4 seconds, more, plus I know a little bit before that. Okay, so it fails on the position of the insertion point. It's not in position 2. It's like in the wrong spot. It's in position like there, which is zeros here, 1, 2, 3. It's in position 3. Okay? And because that cursor's off, the mask gets all messed up. Oh, it's a mess. But we didn't write the code to do that. Now we're going to test drive ourselves into writing the code that does it. All right, so we have a failing test case in after text change. Let's look at masker test. We have second digit then deleted. See, that's computing you enter the second digit and then you delete it. And we have third digit and then deleted. So the mask is being generated properly in our masker. But so the issue is this. We have a couple maskers working brilliantly. You see the test is there. It's going to generate the correct mask. The thing that uses masker, which is SSN text watcher, it uses masker to get the mask, and then an SSN text watcher also manages the cursor position. Okay, so that's not doing its job, right? So we got to go look in SSN text watcher. Not my test though. Let's close some of these pieces of code. Let's just close all that code. Close. Oh, there's not a close all. Yeah. All right. Click, click. So maybe if I right click up here, close. All tabs. There we are, cleaning up our tabs today too. This is the last show before we come back in the new year. Unless I'm like super inspired and I say, no, I want to do the M1 stream, but I'm gonna probably take a break. And I won't have to remember stuff too much because I have tests doing that for me about where I'm at. All right, SSN Text Watcher. All right, so this is the fella. After text change, remember there's a splitter. We talked about this last show about when we were going to re-architect, we're going to have a separate class for adding and a separate class for deletion. And then we could write really tight unit tests that would query about cursor position and mask. But I wanted to do it last show because I was convinced that I was going to have to write some pretty nasty, not nasty, but harder to write unit tests. But things came out pretty fast sometimes. I mean, yeah, things came out pretty fast. So today, okay, if you're smart, you think you should be saying like, Lance, but why? How did when we add characters, where does the cursor position change there? Well, we have in user adds a character, this private function. If insertion point is next to dash, we have an insertion point next to dash test. And what that one checks is for when it's to the when the dash is coming up. But now we have another test. We're going to have another test for it. And its insertion point is next to a dash, but more specific. So we're going to rename this to insertion point is before dash. We could say abuts front of the dash and back of the dash. Can we say there's a back in front of a dash? That would be kind of cool. Insertion point abuts dash front. Or just in front of dash. How about that? It's next to and in front of. How about beside front of dash? Insertion point beside. I want to say dash front, but that's kind of strange. Okay, I'm using the refactoring browser so it updates all the call sites. All right, so we're going to make a new version of this for the other direction. Now, this happened when user adds a dash, so when people are typing, we handle that in the function after text change. And deleting, is deleting a different case or not? Okay, deleting is a different case. So deleting is funny because when you're adding characters and you get next to a dash and we want to generate a mask, adding characters. So you type in something like this when you're adding. And you hit the dash, it's like that case. We just have to tell, after the 3 is typed in, we have to tell it to skip. This is different than when deleting. It looks like this. Okay? Of course, there's a mask out here. Okay, that's the case. So when I hit delete, before the edit takes place, I want to implement the skip. So up here, we did it in after edit. Here, we're doing it before edit. So there's a difference here. We're going to catch it in a different spot. All right. So it's handled in a different event depending on adding a new character or deleting a new character. Character, I think it's an E in there. No, it's not. Char. Is it ER? Oh my goodness. Yeah, ER, that looks right. So that's a note that we may leave in the code. Handled in after. like that. So let's give it a shot. We're going to handle it in before checks changed. Up in here, so this is where we discovered delete's happening. Woot, woot, woot. And this is where our user cursor position is actually going to be changed too, because if it's a case of a dash, we're going to reduce the cursor by 2 steps, not just 1. Okay. So, all right, cool. And David, we actually met this week, earlier this week. He helped me test out the M1 Mac on OBS, and we did what's called the clap test. Notice you see and you hear the sound at the same time. Well, one of the problems with OBS running on an Intel Mac is when the technology I'm using to capture David, as his hands were coming together, you'd hear the clap, and then his hands touch. And then I say, David, clap, you'd hear clap, and then his hands touch. So the lip sync was off, is another way of saying it. His voice was coming for his lips. Now, with the M1, that was improved dramatically. It's still a little off. Now maybe I can adjust this using the OBS tools here, because there are tools for that, but we could never adjust it for like a full second, which was about off by like a full second or a second and a half on Intel. On M1, it's only off maybe half a second or a quarter of a second, which is pretty good. You kind of have to watch really carefully to notice the lips are off. So we'll improve the experience next time if we have an M1 when David's on the show. The problem is it's not my Mac. I'm gonna have to give it up. I'm gonna have to give it up at some time. Don't tell work this, but I'm keeping it a little bit longer. Got some tests to do for the client. And I would have used it today, but I just didn't have time to get all that stuff set up. Okay, so back to the code. Yes, this is where we're gonna change the code, kids. And this is in SSN Text Watcher, and that's our failing test case in SSN Text Watcher test. All right, so let's see, what are we gonna do here? We wanna detect if it's a dash, so we wanna do something like this. So when we discover it's delete, we're gonna find out if we're next to a dash. If cursor is behind, let's see, we use this word abuts back of dash. If is the is doesn't really work for me. If cursor abuts back of dash or rear of dash, I think back's okay. We're going to probably pass in user cursor. If that's the case, cursor needs to back up 2 steps. And that's it. So we're going to move the cursor when the user hits backspace. Before the cursor wipes out the dash, we're going to move it. I believe that will work. Because this is before edit, right? Yeah, before text change. So we're going to move that cursor. Now I don't have the code to move the cursor. I better put the code in there, huh? How do I do that? Set cursor position. I think that's what I do, so move it like that. Else, if it's not abutting the back of the dash, okay. All right, well, let's turn this into real code here. What's all this? Should be an easier way. Okay, where's that is? is insertion point beside front of dash. I'm going to change this one too. I said cursor. I'm going to change it to insertion point to be consistent. And the one we just made up here. So what I'm doing in my head is I'm thinking about the word if. So it should be if cursor abuts back of dash. Oh, it's supposed to be insertion point. You know, cursor's less words. Okay, let's move these two together. What? I thought I renamed you. Oh, jeez, man. Okay. Now I can see that. Wow, am I spelling the butts wrong? I'm going to open my dictionary. That's correct. Oh no, a butts is a single A-B-U-T, so it's a consonant vowel consonant. And when you add like ing or ed, it double the consonant. But in this case, when you're just saying the verb form, butts, it's a single T. Oops, better rename that properly. There. Oh my goodness. Refactoring browser will update that everywhere. Factoring tool. All right. So here we notice we're passing in the characters in the UI because I'm looking at characters in GUI length. Hitting, okay, check and see if it's hitting the limit. Yeah, I might need to worry about that eventually too. So this uses the cursor position to inspect the cursor. I see. I thought maybe I was doing it by position, but I'm not. I'm doing it if it's next to a dash, which means if the dashes are reorganized in a different way, it'll still work. Okay, maybe all right. Okay, can I get to access to characters in GUI? I'm not passing it in, but I know I can pass in a different thing in before text changed. It's sort of a strange thing. You get different, you get read-only characters and text edit, read-only. Oh, because I can't edit right now, which is okay. I'm just going to move the cursor. Okay, my goal is when you hit dash, when you hit backspace in front of the dash, it skips a dash, and then I let it continue backspacing over the character after it. And so that will be happen in the after text edit. So I think in before text edit, I gotta move the cursor. I gotta move the cursor so that the delete doesn't get my dash. And I can do that by passing along characters in text edit instead of user cursor. I think I could do with user cursor too, but my gut says work with characters. Is it called characters? Oh no, this is bad what I'm doing here. I don't want to rename all the instances of that. I want to change this. Okay, not refactoring. pass that in. It's a character string, right? Char sequence, maybe? Okay, and it's going to return a Boolean. So it's simple, like if position to dash oh, it's -1 though. It's a tough one. So when I hit backspace, yeah, I think it's -1. We got some boundary conditions to worry about on that guy. True. Because if it's the item on my left, then return true, else return false. Alrighty then. Okay. Should be okay now, right? Oh, char sequence. Oh. Oh, these exclamation points you have to put in code now. It's so funny. I'm not sure why it's a double exclamation point. I'm saying the char sequence reference won't be null and the object won't contain null? I'm not sure. I'm hazy on that one, I'll be honest with you. We can even know here. Why double? I can't put a question mark after that because that'll be confusing. Okay. And so if I put this through a code review, maybe some of the other developers I work with would say like, oh, well, that's a double because of blah. And right now we're going to keep soldering on because I don't think I need to worry about that right now. So, okay, so we check if it's next to the dash. If it is, we move the cursor position to the left twice, skip the cursor. Oh, but we only want to move it. We want to set location here. Before the delete happens, we want to set it to cursor position -1 to the left of the dash. And then, do I need to set this to -2? I don't know that I do. Because I'm actually moving the cursor. And I can't predict how many times this event's going to get called. So it's going to be called once because I hit backspace. That was the user input. I'm controlling where the cursor position is going to be, so it will delete the right thing. Done. And so therefore, user cursor position should be -2. I think it's okay. I think it's correct. It's all very interesting code. I'm sad. That's getting complex there. Okay, so I think I'm ready to run the test. Let's run the bloody test. That means I build didn't build. Got something unhappy over here. All right, test didn't pass. I mean, the good news is other tests didn't fail. So it said expected to, but still is 3. Interesting. So the cursor, see the cursor position still not coming out right. Well, the new mask is being computed correctly. That part's right. And that's what my assertion says up here. The mask is correct. Ah, interesting. I mean, in a way, it's an improvement. It's just not getting the cursor position right. Wasn't that the problem though beforehand? Probably. All right. So what's the problem now? What is the problem now? Well, the problem is my cursor position is inaccurate, and after text change. And after text change is called, well, before text change, in theory, would have solved that. Cursor position is, 2, because the user hit the backspace. That cursor position is different. I have this here. Just taking a quick look up here, seeing if the code's clean. Do a little cleaning here before I dive in and think hard. It's kind of like the programmer version of doing the dishes instead of getting your work done sometimes. But at least I'm cleaning up the code. I'll keep leaving this silly notice in here. Probably have to get rid of it someday. I like up here how we boiled it under, we hid that complexity underneath some privates. And that's not true, so that code definitely got copy pasted through there. So what's the arrange? Here's the arrange. Or the act. Okay. All cleaned up? Probably. After text change. Yep. Okay, so all right, so it's position of insertion point still not reporting back the right number. So why is that? Let's go look. Might have to put this in the debugger, which takes me back to questioning whether my code's getting too complex and should be refactored. So, okay, there's a couple possibilities. So before text edit, before text changed, so this is the case of user adding, if user adding characters, else user deleting characters. And here it's checking to see if it abuts the back of a dash. Okay, so it's possible that this isn't working, right? And anyways, we're passing the code, we're passing this in. We come into here and we return true or false. So if the character's in text edit at the user cursor, so now I'm talking about the user cursor. And that should be where the cursor is. And to the left of it, if it's a dash, then we return true. There's a character sequence. This is an index, -1. So, you know, that looks like if it's working, if the code's correct, it looks correct. So everything looks correct. Doesn't mean it is correct. That part looks correct. And set selection. So if it is correct, then we set selection to move the cursor to the other side of the dash. And that looks correct too. And then we reduce the cursor again because we're deleting. I'm not sure that this is the right move. Maybe I should take it out till I know more about it. Well, okay. I'm convinced I need to reduce it by 2 because I'm always trying to update the cursor. And I did a delete, but I haven't updated the cursor yet. And then I confirm that I'm next to a dash, and then I move the cursor manually here, and then I go to oh, that's interesting. I might have a re-entry problem. When I move, okay, I'm assuming if I change the cursor, it's not going to recall before text change. If it is, we have to come up here and we have to we have to guard against that, because right now I'm not guarding against re-entry. We'll figure that out by running the code. But before we get that far, we can get the code written correctly. So then we set the cursor to -2. I think that's correct. Now, it's not passing, so let's go ahead and run in the debugger. I should have set the breakpoint. I didn't do that. Hold on, buddy. What's your test? Oh, it's after text change. It's too late. I'm going to do it before. And actually, I don't need these breakpoints. I want to control it from the start of the test at here when I'm doing the act. So let's rerun that test. Okay, now we're going to step in. So character text edit here, Now, look at that. Characters in text edit. It's 1, 2. It's like it already deleted the 3, and I'm in before text change. I really get puzzled by that. Like, why would that be true? I might set this test up wrong. I have 1, 2, 3. Oh. Oh, I might be deleting the wrong thing. Okay. That's a problem. Yeah. Okay, so I can't I'm deleting it. So my test is incorrectly simulating user pressing delete. The simulation should be this one down here. Cursor position 2, number of characters replaced, and let that do the work. Here I'm doing the delete action. So I don't think I need to call delete. I might have to run the simulator to confirm this. I believe the delete action shouldn't happen on before text change. And I'm actually working on before text change now. If it was after text change, that would be the correct action. So again, this goes back to how our situation is really different. So cursor position is reduced because it says I'm passing cursor position 2 because 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. If it matters, which I'm not sure it does, it should be going position 3. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's a delete. So cursor position should be, it's going for position 3. It says I'm going to delete one character and no characters are added. All right, now I can confirm that before we go any further in the simulator. Let's see if my simulator behaves itself, you naughty little guy. I want to confirm that that before text change works the way I believe it is, although no point in me investing much time in simulating this in the unit test if I'm simulating it incorrectly. What is all of this? Oh, I have a debugger thread. Is that going to cause problems? I don't know. Okay. Going to build canceled. Let's try it again. Fingers are crossed, kids. It says launch succeeded, super fast. Let's see. I've been having troubles with you. Ah, nice. Looks correct. All right. I think that problem I had, it's kind of mysteriously gone away. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in, I'm going to confirm from the log output that I'm talking to the API correctly from the unit test. So I'm going to drive it up to the dash, see what I get. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm at the dash. Now I'm not going to hit backspace yet. I'm going to hit backspace soon and then confirm. So if I look at the output, okay. Now I'm going to hit delete and I'm going to look. This is running our new code, so it might do something differently. When I hit backspace, I want to see what before text change has. So I probably ought to clear this so I can see what it's going to say clearly. All right, I got to select the phone. Press backspace. All right, now go back here. All right, so is that 1, 2, 3, da 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 da. And before text change, cursor position is 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3. Just like I did in the unit test, right? So I got to know this API really well. One character replaced, none added. And then on text change, it's going to do stuff. Don't care. So yes, I've confirmed that my test is doing the right thing now. I mean, I've confirmed that's set up right. Function is still not working. Ooh. Actually, the functionality is working. It's funny. I have the test to tell me, oh, yeah, look at that again. Oh, look, it's 1, 2, blah. Let's see if my unit test passes. Yeah, I think I'm ready to run my unit test. So what does that really do? Does that like shut down the simulator? No, it just sits there. The unit test passes. Boom, just like we observed. Wow, that's pretty cool. Sweet. There, we've successfully skipped the dash. And let's play with it a little more here. So I could go backspace. I could type in a 2. Works great. 2, 3. Backspace. Look at that. It's working like a champ. All right. Now, check the box. Another cursor position is working. Dash. Skipped correctly. Now, we're going to start seeing the new bugs. I'm going to keep typing 1, 2, 3, 4 because we didn't write code for this. The mask is not, it's working so far though. Sometimes these things happen by a sort of accident. 5, oh wow, look at that. What do you think if I hit backspace? What will happen? Remember, it's just going to see if it abuts a dash. Boom, it's deleted everything. That's kind of funny. You know, it's a new unit test, right? We expected it to not work. I expected it not to work. Going, Lance, you're writing code that you know won't work? Well, that's what test-driven is about, kids, is you're trying to get the, swipe that baby up and get a new instance here. Huh, that's weird. Why can't I do what I'm trying to do? Swipe up there, you little jerk. I don't know. Such a non-Android user. Interesting. If I double tap it, it relaunches it. 1, 2, 3. Nice. Love it. And now we need new functionality. I need to write a test for this case. See if Masker knows what it's doing. I bet that's what happened is the Masker got messed up. 5. Okay. All right, so we could just write more tests against Masker, and maybe, yeah, end of boundary condition. I'm sure I don't have that test in there. Basic activity keeps stopping. Oh, what's the app info do? Yeah, okay. So on Android, what is that button for? I'm going to talk to my mother. She used to use Android phones. Oh, there, we're swiping up. Cool. All right, nice. Let's go to Masker. Masker test. 4th digit, then deleted. Okay. Mask before deletion. Okay, so 5th digit. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'm confused here. I had 4 digits. That's 1, 2, 3. I don't think this is correct. This test is not correct. Look at that. This is not showing 4 digits. 4th digit would be, that's the 4th digit right there, kids. and I hit delete, so I think it's supposed to be that. And then the mask grows. Yeah. Oh, the person I paired with on the week, during the week, left a little bit of a bug there, or in the test. So anyways, it should grow. We should get back that. When the fourth digit is deleted, let's see, I gotta get my logic straight here. Third input, then deleted. Okay, third digit input, that's 1, 2, 3. That's what it looks like. And then you delete the third digit, you would grow it. Okay, so here, fourth digit, it's right there, and they got deleted. So that's what the mask was there, but now we want to show the mask grown. And that mask would include the dash. Yeah. Okay. So I've got a lot of tests here now. Too many tests. Let's write this. This test should fail. And we will drive in that functionality. Okay. Okay, that should make that test pass. What's going on here? I see, I don't really need these other braces. I could do this. Okay. Mask before deletion. What's wrong? Here. Parentheses. Quote missing. What's going on? Val cannot be reassigned. Oh. Oh. Wow. It's been a long time since I've made an assignment by accident instead of a comparison. Bad developer. This is why, folks, people actually recommend putting this to the left-hand side. It's just not very readable, though. It does avoid the problem, but it's not very readable. So C developers will do that a lot. Yeah, no, but I saved my bacon by having that be a non-changeable variable, i.e. not a variable, but a value. Wow, I'm embarrassed though. It's been a while since I've tried to reassign something by accident. All right, so the test should run, boom. Okay, let's keep going. Let's go, turn this one on. Fifth digit input, then deleted. So they typed in here and then deleted it. So if you delete that one there, you get back the X. The developer I was working on the week said, hey, well, why don't I just keep writing the tests, just a bunch of them, just chop them out. The problem, what happens psychologically is you start getting noise from the system, you get all these failing tests, and you start trying to fix them all at once. And that breaks your controls for the experiment, and you actually get slowed down. So I found it's better to go one at a time, and you actually save time. All right, let's go make that code pass. Oops. There are times I'll make bigger strides and try to knock a bunch of things off at once, but not very often. It's like rolling the dice. I've tried that game and observed my performance and found it not as good as when I follow it step by step. All right, fifth. I get the fifth one right. So if we delete this character here, we should get back 2 X's. And I didn't get that right. Didn't feel right either. I think I'm losing my... Yeah, make sure I got this right. So 1, 2, 3, dash, 4, 5. And I say I'm deleting the 5th digit is inputted. So the cursor's over here. It doesn't matter. It's just about generating the mask. And so, well, maybe it does matter. 5th digit input, then deleted. So I enter the 5th digit, and then I delete it. And then the computer is going to generate the mask for me. So the situation would look like this. And it should look like this. Yeah, this is correct. And I didn't write the code right because I know I don't have a pattern for that. All right, see, I'm just proving my point right now. I messed it up. My test didn't pass right away. Let me just check the chat here. Okay. All right, so there, I distracted myself for 2 seconds and I forgot what my test looks like. Mask setter test. Oh, not mask setter, masker test. All right, so I should have da-da-da. Okay, so that should be what I'm trying to make work. This looks really wrong, but it's correct. Okay, sorry. Arguing with myself. Right, run the test. We'll get these masker ones done, and then we'll go do some manual testing and see if our cursor positioning is working right. Expected X da 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 da, but was That's not coming out right at all. All right. How do I make this so hard on myself? This should be easy. Masker. I think I flipped it around. That's what happened. Oh my God. Sorry, people. There it is. That's where we write the unit test, bro. See, that bug didn't happen because we detected it and fixed it. Test drove me. It said, dude, you're doing this wrong. Slap, slap, slap. And I thought, huh? And I thought it took me a couple tries to get that silly thing right. All right. All right, I will actually use my fingers to type this one out. Test. Fun. 6th digit input, then deleted. So I expect if it's the 6th digit, I'm going to get back the Kotlin drives me crazy. You can't actually type in your parameter names. And masker.compute. Case. And 6 digits. So just to show you, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6XX. So somebody deletes the 6. That's what the mask looks like. And I should get back the XX. And run the test. Failed. All right, should get back XX. So if it's that and somebody deletes, then return a bigger mask. And run that. Okay. See if I'm at 4:30 yet. I'm at 4:30. I should try to wrap this up. All right, we're gonna do 2 more tests. I'm gonna make the big moves here. I'm gonna write 2 tests in a row. Let's see if I hose this. You will see me try to demonstrate what not to do. 7th digit. Oh, I don't know if I have to write 2 tests. So there's 1 X left. And it should come back to 2. Okay? And then, right, let's see if I can be smart about this. We're going to do 2 of them in a row. Just to satisfy people like, well, why don't you ever do 2 in a row? Because it's harder. And I'll usually muck it up. So we'll see. I'm trying to save time. Probably, let's see if it actually saves time. If I don't get this right the first shot, then it did not save time. Because I have 2 tests yelling at me. 8th digit input, then deleted. So the 8th digit is the end state. Now I know the end state's got is a special case, so I'm gonna have difficulties with that. But there we are. Okay, so I have 2 tests that'll be yelling at me. It's okay, I'm a big boy. The question is, can I handle it in a manly way? Well, let's find out. There they are, they're yelling at me. Okay, let's go to masker. Since I did a few of these, I have a better chance at getting this right. You would never want to do this on your first shot. Okay, so if it's single X, we're going to return 2. If it's no X, we're going to return 1. We're going to grow it. See, you're probably having trouble following me now because I'm doing 2 in a row. Let's go. Come on, did the gamble work? Come on. Boom, got it. All right, that was a good gamble. I don't know, gambling's never really that good. It probably didn't save me that much time, but it saved a little time. All right, now, what happens when I run the app? So masker is this, let's see. Yeah, masker is this class over here. And it is used by SSN Text Watcher. SSN Text Watcher handles cursor position. It does more than, it just asks masker for mask, and then it does a bunch of stuff. And it probably shouldn't do all that stuff, but it does cursor position. So if cursor position isn't computed correctly, masker could do its job, and cursor position could get screwed up by this guy, and we won't know till we write some tests for SSN Text Watcher. Okay? So what that means to test my cursor position, I should be, because dealing with dashes is a funny thing, okay? And I should write those tests. So I'm going to write those tests. What's on my mind is whether I should manually test to see if it works now or not. All right, I could run it and see if it works right now. And then, but we still need to add our automated tests. And it's a possibility that all the functionality is working in there and this will work. It's totally the possibility. The question we're going to have on our mind is whether we have to write any more tests to keep it that way. And that's a hard question to answer. We might have to slow down in the show to think about that. All right, that's working. See, still working, right? 4. What happens if I delete that? Oh, nice, right? 5. Oh, nice. Looky, looky. That wasn't working a moment ago, but we just had to tell Masker how to compute masks. 6. Nice. 7. Nice. 8. Boundary condition. I'm not shocked that that fails because that was a problem last time. All right, folks, so we got it all done, but a boundary condition. I don't know if I have the patience on the day before my holiday to fix this. Let's take a, because I need to write a test for that. Okay, we have a couple questions on mine. Number 1, do we have to add more tests for something that we know works? Probably not. Why? Because I test drove the masker, and as long as the code in SSN Text Watcher was also test driven, it should be correct. It should be automated test. That usually works in real life. So if you have questions about it, you put in a bug and see what happens. All right, so hey, I came in, I was tired, I make a mistake, I'm gonna change this. Okay, let's see if a test catches it. What I'm doing here is called defect injection. I'm putting a defect in to see if my tests are adequate. I'm answering the question, are my tests adequate? I think all my tests just passed, so now I know the answer. My tests aren't adequate. Seriously, I'm really surprised. I am really surprised. Well, yeah, they didn't catch that bug I put in there. Because set selection is now not working. And if you care to know, let's go in here, let's go run it. My simulator seems to be running, oops, like a champ, like it's supposed to be. That's good. That was really annoying. I probably wasted like 15, 20 minutes in the week trying to solve that problem. Okay, now remember we put a bug in here. 1, 2, delete, 2, 3, delete, 4, 5. Wow, look at that. It doesn't care. This will crash. Okay. Interesting. So the tests don't care, the app doesn't care. Set selection. What the heck is this doing? Yeah, that's funny. So I can take that line out? Wow, I did not expect this. Sorry, folks, we're trying to get the show wrapped up. This is distracting me, but it's a good question. I don't know what to do. We have to figure it out. That or David's got to call in. Call in, David. Tell me why is defect injecting revealing code that doesn't matter anywhere? The only other possibility is I'm not really running the code I expect to be running. Well, let's keep going then. Let's add another bug. Let's really mess it up. Because if it's running the wrong phone, I change in the phone, but if it's not running that code, that's another reason why that code could be problematic. I mean, if I do this, that can't work, right? So we're really questioning our environment right now. So nothing should be working well now. And if it does, then we've got a different problem. It means my app that I'm compiling isn't getting stuck on the simulator. And that's an icky situation. That means I gotta go debug this. 1, 2, 3, delete. There we are, it's broken again. All right, cool. Yep, that's why that code was in there. So now the question is, what code do I really need? If I don't need set selection cursor, and I run the tests, and they pass, and they do, what about this line? It means something else is setting, I must be setting the cursor twice, and that's why I don't need to do it here. It's done later. All right, that test failed. So something else sets the cursor position in the code. So I probably was setting it twice. That was a redundant setter. If you want to think about that, there's this one here, right? So it's set on after text change. That is so weird. I thought for sure I'd have to skip the dash. All right, so this has got to be done. This does not have to be done, so I deleted it. Okay. That's one of the nice things about having unit tests is you can get rid of code, discover, learn that there's some redundant code, and get it the heck out of there. Hey, launch you. Have I launched it? Sorry, what happened here? Test ignored. I got on app, run the app. Yeah. So that was a redundant set cursor position. All right, and then the boundary condition isn't honored. I can type it in, but if I hit delete, probably what's happening is the logic to check to see if I'm in front of a dash is failing. I don't know. I'm trying to predict what would cause that, and it could be, I don't know. It's really interesting. It's not uncommon for this to happen, and we will figure it out. Okay, so, and the best way to do it is with the test. Okay, so I got rid of some code. That was cool. Remember the problem I was trying to solve is, do we have good enough test coverage? And I did get the test to pass if I get rid of this, or the test to fail if I get rid of this line. So if I run the unit tests, it'll fail. Because the question I'm trying to answer is my test coverage good enough, or do I have to go back and do the same things in SSN Text Watcher? Is Watcher good enough or not? So here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to call it, folks. SSN Text Watcher, the protocol of setting the cursor position and working with masker, that linkage has been well tested with the existing tests. I don't need to add duplicate tests to trigger the masks, the mask changes that we added in later, because it would just be extra and it's not necessary. So we don't add code that's not necessary. Let's check this line and run that one. There we are. That test failed. All right, so we're proving that we have our delete logic in there, well tested. Man, I'm going to get rid of some of this stuff. This is old tests. We don't need anymore. We're going to get rid of some of those ignored tests. It's good to delete code. Minimalism, only having the materials you need, those are all important aspects. This code, we couldn't get working yet. This is to do with coloring, and so I'll leave it in there for now. Text change. This one I'm a little worried about. I feel like should be in there. On text change when adding dash doesn't recurse. Why is this on ignore? I don't want to get into that. It's the holidays upon me, and I just want to get what I need done. This one, I should look into it. This one looks like an important. I should be testing about not recursing. It may not be necessary. Like I'm looking at my test lines, looking for things that have words like recurse. And I don't see any others. Should get rid of my learning test too, probably. Yes, you can then tweet me on Agile Thoughts. Should probably get the Twitter running. Twitter. Go follow Victor. He's a smart guy. Somebody's we're senior iOS dev. This looks promising. All right. Well, anyways, before I get involved with looking for jobs, which I'm not looking, but I like to keep abreast. Pretty happy with my current job. Fun job, working with tons of developers. Whoa, why am I frozen on LinkedIn? Why am I frozen on LinkedIn? I don't know. Okay, so we got to wrap up. What do we got here? Oh, we have a boundary condition. That's not quite working right. It'd be great to have a failing test case for after the holidays to go work that out. And let's write it. And it's going to be in, see, Masker is running beautifully. So this is about that interaction problem. Masker works. It's the, well, hold on. Before we get excited here, there was some code here about mask. Yeah, no, I think there's nothing we could change in Masker. It's going to be about the user of Masker. Okay. You know, the code that the code will be replacing has like for loops and weird stuff. This is just like simple, like I'm going to grow the string, I'm going to shrink the string, grow the string or shrink the string. It's the logic on it is so less complicated on this baby. Okay. All right, edge condition. Let's write that test. And if it fails, that's awesome. I will know what to work on after the holidays. Or maybe I'll slip it in and work on it on the holidays, but I may not do it on camera. I don't know. I got a lot of fun stuff I got planned up, so well, don't be surprised if you don't see me till the new year. Okay. I need a new test. Assistant text watcher. And going to be about hitting delete after I type in all that stuff. So I'm looking for some code to copy, be honest with you. Oh, this is a good one. User inputs entire or more than allowed characters. Okay, that's a good one. Except I'm going to delete and then press delete. Entire or more than? I don't think it needs to say that. Okay, so he does this, and then what is this code tested? I gotta add the delete call. So the delete call, I gotta do some refactoring in this code too, is going to be like here, where we do the delete call before and then after. I'm going to adjust this. What am I going to assert? Probably just going to run it and see if it doesn't throw an exception. Oops, not this one. Okay, so it's going to be at position, Fusion puts 10. Oh, that's interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, excuse me, that should be 9 characters. How am I doing this? I'm not sure exactly. I think I need to use the Android phone to help me figure out what to put in for cursor position, because I don't know if it's 9 or 10. Like here, it's trying to add an extra one, and I don't think it can. I would guess it's going to be 9. No characters added, but one's replaced. It's cursor position starting at 0, so that's why that's really the 10th place. And then, what would I assert? I would assert that, well, that the mask is still, I didn't have any assertions on this one. I think I was just looking for exceptions. Cursor position. There's no 9. Okay. I don't need an extra character in this test case. Well, the cursor is past the last character, so that's why it would be cursor position 10. I'm gonna end up running this 90-minute show again. Oh my God. Let's see if I can get this baby done. Oh boy, it's always hard. Doing code in 1 hour. Very hard. 90 minutes. Better. 2 hours. Yeah. Sometimes 3 hours. Okay, assert mask correct. Da, 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 da. Oh, there it is. Insertion, position of insertion point. That's what I'm looking for. So I expect the insertion point to be at 9. Have that tested in these other areas, so it'll be interesting to see what happens here. All right, so what am I doing? I have these comments in here. This is the arrange area. This is just to set up the conditions. This is the act. This is the thing that could probably cause problems, and this is the assert. This is we're confirming that everything's okay, and yeah, you can see we don't have the function called out on it, which function we're targeting, because it's not clear. It's the whole system. Okay, so I have a test to run. No idea what's going to happen. It's exciting. What's going to happen? Test failed. Oh, why is that? All right. 456 dash. Oh, okay. It's not a proper way to format that. Wow. What's going on here? Apparently I'm adding a couple extra characters. What? Okay, the thing I copied, is there a bug in it? 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we added a 9. And now I don't have an 8. What's going on here? cursor position would be at 10 because it's to the right. One position. Okay, I think that's right. Expected 9, but was 10. I think that makes sense. It shouldn't be 10 because that's going to be out of bounds and it'll probably make something crash. Because let's see here. Position 0, 1, 2, dash. Okay. Bugger. Wow, I'm having troubles with this. Tab. Weird behavior. 1, 2, 3, dash. So 0 position is on the right of 1. I can't really represent this the way I want to. I have to put spaces in here. I don't think that makes sense. 1. Position 1, yeah, it's to the right of that number. Why am I doing it this way? All right. So these are the positions. This is the enter. One, two. So 8 should be at position 10. That's what I thought. See, it's I illustrated it thusly. And when it's deleted, what's the behavior? It should delete the last number is what the behavior should be. Okay, even if you type in extra characters and it didn't delete it, what happened here? So I don't think this worked. I don't think I can delete the last character. All right? So I expect when I press delete that that's deleted, like that. And I expect that cursor position would be actually 7 because I deleted the 8. No, that's not true. I expect it to be 8. So if I delete the 8, it would be cursor position 9. Wow, I'm starting to confuse myself. Yeah, I think that's okay. That makes sense. So if I delete 8, it should be at cursor position 9. That makes sense. All right, so we have like this cool table just invented just now. Works pretty good. If I delete the 8, I should be at cursor position 9. All right. So this test is going to fail, and I will have something to do in the new year to a problem to solve. Because the boundary condition is not being honored correctly. So this part, I almost said mask, but I don't mean that. This part fails. Expected da-da-da-da, because I deleted the last character, right? I hit backspace. That's what this code does. User presses delete. And it didn't delete it. All right, so that solves the problem of having an automated test to bother me when I come back in the new year. Let's go ahead and run it again in the phone, see, and thank goodness the simulator is working swimmingly now. I don't know how I fixed it. It's weird. Don't know why it broke, and I don't know how I fixed it. I don't like when that happens. Who does? Okay, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can delete that one, no problem, right? But then 8 shows up, and if I delete, boom. What's up with that? Well, we have a boundary condition problem. So there we are, folks. That's the Christmas present for next year. The New Year's resolution, I should say. That's the New Year's resolution for next year, is to fix that boundary condition sometime in 2022. Think we can handle it? Shouldn't be a problem. The app's pretty much there. Some tips I got is that I don't need to handle the case of the user randomly moving the cursor in the middle of the text box and typing things in or adjusting. So some things next year, on next year's show, we're going to have to fix that boundary condition, number 1. Number 2, restrict the ability so the user can only type in new characters and delete characters from the right. They can't like jump around with the cursor. So we have to figure out how to disable some of that. Because if we had to handle that, that's going to be some more sportiness. Would the code handle it as is? I suspect not, because I am not, all the logic is about growing and shrinking. It's not about, oh, you did something in the middle. You know, that's going to increase the complexity. And users don't seem to need to, so if you type in your social security number, you go da-da-da-da-da. If you make a mistake, you got to backspace up. You can't just jump to the middle. Maybe some users would like to do that, but that's the bar we've set for this example. What else? No, I think that's it, folks. So, happy holidays. David there, he's already drinking again. Not David, man. He's got kidneys like monster kidneys. Hope you had fun. And we will see you next year. Thanks and out.